athletes out on the track for the next action, women's 3,000 metres.
Yes, and this promises to be a fascinating race. Not the normal mass contingent of East Africans here, but a very strong showing of Australians, including Jess Hull, who's in fabulous form. The Australian are running a really quick 1,500 metres in Eugene just 5 days ago. 3:55 she ran there. Grovdal, Carolina Bjørkli Grovdal of Norway. She's their darling, 3 times European cross-country champion. What should she do here? She's better over 5 and 10k, but she's tough, and home advantage of her will surely give her some help. And Rose Davies goes here as well, won the Australian 5,000 title in the middle of April in Adelaide. Won in Tokyo over 5,002 and an Australian national record just a few days later, so month later rather. So she's in fabulous form as Rose Davies. The best of the Africans were probably Adina Jebitok, third in Marrakesh and over 5,000 12 days ago with a personal best. She's in good form, improving form too, is Jebitok. But Davies, well, just 24 years old, 3,000 best of 8:39, which I rather fancy has got a chunk to come off it. Could it be here tonight in these great conditions for middle distance racing? 7.5 laps of the track, then away they go in front of this pretty much capacity Oslo crowd. For several years now we've come here and they tell us it's a sellout, and it may well be, but the stand's about 75–85% full. Well, tonight it is just about full. There's very few spare seats here. The pace they're heading for, well, it's about 68 or 69 per lap. We're looking for 4:15 at 1,500 metres, which would obviously bring them home the full distance in twice that, 8:30. The pacemaker here, Sarah Billings, looks to have gone off just a little bit too enthusiastically. Hull in 4th place at the moment in that purple strip, 3rd of the main pack. And Tanaka in front of her, Nozomi Tanaka, who was 8th in the World Championship 5,000 last year. She's a great runner, is Tanaka. She has a sub-4 minute 1,500 metres personal best, despite being, well, as you can see, about the shortest athlete in the race. And right in front of her is the tallest in the race, Griffiths, I think it is, in 2nd place.
Well, Jess Hull keeping an eye on her because, as you said, rightly so, in fabulous form. She has never won a Diamond League at any distance, and I think this is a really good opportunity for Jess Hull in the form she's in to put that right. There she is in, what, 4th or 5th place at the moment, doing brilliantly. She's the only athlete to have run quicker than the meeting record this evening, but brilliant personal best recently in the 800, 15 mile and 3,000 indoors. She's a versatile athlete, and she deserves a Diamond League win.
Well, they come down in front of us now, and they'll see 6 laps to go. Georgia Griffith of Australia, who set a personal best in Xiamen, 1,500 metres, under 4 minutes there for her. And then was solid in Doha and Tokyo in the following races. Over 1,500, she's sharpened up for these. Her best, Griffith, 8:37. If she can hang on to this tempo, then she too will be into personal best territory, no doubt about that. Grovdal, well, her form is mixed. It hasn't been great. She in the blue there in about 8th place, 9th place for Norway. She was, by her standards, a pretty poor 14th in Eugene last Saturday. They go through 800 there, by the way, in about 2:19, so they're running about 69 per lap. Jess Hull moving up now with that blonde ponytail flapping around. Right behind her, Jebitok would do well, actually. Jebitok, who's just 22, to follow in the footsteps of Hull. Hull's a good tactician, really consistent, and I think she's worth a lot more now than her 7th places in Budapest and the Prefontaine World Championships over the last couple of years. She's raising her game, and with that 3:55 1,500 just recently, she's certainly the likely winner here tonight, the favourite, with what, some 5 laps or so to go.
2:50 at the first kilometre, which was bang on, so good pacemaking there by Sarah Billings, and a good contingent from Australia has come to this meeting, including the likes of Jess Hull there, just moving up into 2nd place, discounting the pacemaker.
Well, the Kenyan Caroline Nyaga there, just holding her arm out in the red to ride a picture, the red and black ahead of Hull. Billings still pushing on strongly here, and Hull biding her time. I wonder if Hull is just thinking here, I'm going to go for the win here tonight, not chase the fast time. But the pace-making, pretty much spot on. Billings went through 1,000 in 250.34. So treble that, and there's your 8:30, give or take a second or two.
Good memories of Oslo from last year for Jess Hull as well. She was second in a great race in the 1500. I remember that very well indeed. Here, the 3000, and ideally placed in third place, looking very, very controlled and running within herself.
Well, the pack's still together. Grovdal back in about 8th place and moving up. She's running better already as they approach 1500 meters than she did last weekend in Eugene. Niaga moving up onto the shoulder of Billings. In fact, just looking, that foreshortening effect, Billings pulling ahead to pull away. They go through 4 laps now in what, about 4:32, 4:33, so they're just ahead of the 69-second schedule, about 68 seconds per lap. It's building nicely.
Yeah, just looking out for Jess Warner-Judd right at the back there. Has been struggling. She's been cut adrift as the British #1 over 5,000 metres. Had a bit of a chat with her in the hotel last night. Just left the picture, just coming into shot now. It just looks as though this is too much for her today.
Well, Niaga taking on the pace here. Caroline Niaga goes through with 3 laps to go in about 5:07. And striding out nicely now. This is what you really want as the middle runner. Somebody to take on the middle stage of the race and stride out aggressively and keep the tempo honest. And Hull will be loving this. She looks comfortable, doesn't she? Powerfully built the Australian in 2nd place. Griffith, her compatriot, in 3rd, right behind her. Jebitok running off the curb as she has done through the whole race. And also watch out for Vubris Tashal of Ethiopia, just 19 years old, but some good personal bests in recent races. In Suzhou in China recently, a personal best over 5,000, and they've got through 2,000 now, Chris, in 5:40, so the pace absolutely superb.
It really is terrific pacemaking, and Hull with that 3:55 Australian record over 1,500 metres. She will have the finish in her, surely. Griffith is still in there as well. Niaga has taken on the heavy lifting, but Hull, you feel, just waiting and waiting and choosing her moment.
2 laps to go then. Niaga of Kenya still leads. Jess Hull in 2nd, Griffith in 3rd in this women's 3,000 here in Oslo. The crowd loving it. The rhythmic clapping, pushing them on here as they head into the back straight for the penultimate time. Hull has the ability and the form at the moment to dominate this race, and now it's a test of confidence. Does she go hard here from a lap and a half out and try and test herself over the last 600, or does she sit in behind Niaga and pick her moment more carefully? Ashal moving up onto her shoulder, and Hull there gives her quite a shove. Doesn't want to be boxed by the young Ethiopian, but it has slowed a little bit over the last 300 or 400 metres, because that is bunching now. 2, 4, 6, 8 in a pack, with Grovdal at the back of the 8.
Yeah, almost Mary Morar tactics there. Niaga has got to the front there and just slowed it right down as they come into the home straight for the penultimate time. And now Hull has clear daylight, has clear track ahead.
Costa is in there as well, Maureen Costa of the Netherlands. She was 6th in Marrakesh, close to her personal best. But this has become a tactical affair now as Jess Hull, for the first time, hits the front. 68.3 that lap. It wasn't as much slowed as I thought. But Hull now with Grovdal in 2nd, the Norwegian, the crowd loving it. Niaga, the little Kenyan, dropping back now as Zambebo of Ethiopia moves up into 2nd place, and Hull now begins to wind it up nicely. Hull with 200 to go, always with that strange sort of half smile, half grimace on her face, and the gaps are opening up, and she's still got athletes breathing down her neck, one of whom is her teammate in the tall orange vest, Georgia Griffith, coming round the outside. Is she going to cause a bit of a shock here, Griffith? Remember, her best is 8:37. There's going to be a massive personal best here for Griffith, whatever happens. And Hull now in 3rd place and heading towards the win here, surely, is Griffith, although she's under pressure from Amibur of Ethiopia. It's really close over the last 50, but Griffith is going to hang on just as Hull comes home in 3rd place behind Amibur. And the winning time, 8:24. 8:25.01. It's just outside the meeting record. In fact, no, that is an easily misunderstood caption. Bottom right, excuse me. How to fool a commentator, I've only been doing it a few years. 8:24.20 is the new meeting record. 8:25.01, the old meeting record, but they just don't put in the word old. I'll do that for you. 8:25.01 it was. They wanted a meeting record, and they are special here in Oslo when they're produced because they last for years and years. Beatrice Chebet's, mind you, goes back just 12 months. The world lead this year, 8:17 by Guraf Segai. But that from Georgia Griffith was special, and that probably the biggest win of her life. A personal best over 1,500 metres a month ago, Chris, and now tonight, a personal best and a meeting record at the Bislett Games. That is as good as it gets almost.
Brilliant. You have to feel for Jess Hull. I thought it was hers for the taking, but all credit to Griffith, who timed her run to perfection. Not just a personal best, not just a massive meeting record, it's also a new Australian record as well. And Griffith really strong, great strength, endurance in the final stages. Hull losing ground in the end and having to settle for third. Some work to do there for the other Australian.
Wow, no wonder she's smiling. Glances at the clock, and that's exactly what you want to see. And Davies, her compatriot, was a really strong trio of Aussies in this one tonight. Finishing with 8:35. Back in 12th place. The packing was brilliant there tonight. The first 7 running 8:30 or quicker. First 6 obviously under 8:30. Personal bests galore. In fact, 5 personal bests in the first 6 in that women's 3,000 metres. Superb, and it was really set up well by the pacemaking of Sarah Billings.
Yeah, she was absolutely pitch perfect through 2 kilometres. Nayaga hit the front and then disappeared, and the ball made it a good contest, a good, honest contest, but look at the intent on Griffith's face as she just stretched away, and at this stage Hull knows that her race is over in terms of winning it. 6 metres in the end, the distance between second and third.
I wonder, Chris, if that's the transatlantic journey for Jess Hull, maybe catching up with her. Those legs a week ago, in fact 5 days ago, were running very fast. Eugene, Oregon, the Pacific Northwest of the USA, and a 9-hour time difference is not easy to overcome or adjust to.